All right, what if you were told you're not allowed to vote because of a computer error? Well, CNN's Abby Boudreau reports now that some say an election anti-fraud system has the potential to remove eligible voters from the rolls.
The idea of voter suppression is a real concern to a lot of people. We talked to some eligible voters who fear their right to vote is now being challenged. Just 2 weeks ago, 21-year-old Kyla Berry received a disturbing letter in the mail from local election officials stating she is not a U.S. citizen. That was news to her.
Are you a citizen?
I am.
And where are you from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Kyla is one of more than 50,000 registered Georgia voters who've been flagged because of a computer mismatch in their personal identification information.
I can't believe it's happening to me.
Some 4,500 of those are having their citizenship questioned.
Every year, election officials strike millions of names from the voter rolls using processes that are secret, prone to error, and vulnerable to manipulation.
Experts fear this could lead to suppression of votes, and many critics allege minorities are more often on these lists.
There are last-minute efforts to try to knock off new voters using a process that we call no match, no vote, or disenfranchisement by typo.
Georgia is also under fire for requesting Social Security records on about 2 million voters, more requests than any other state. These types of allegations have flared up across the U.S., most notably in Ohio, where there are concerns that hundreds of thousands of voters could be purged from the voter rolls. Lachlan McDonald of the ACLU is suing the state of Georgia over letters like Kyla's. He also argues the letters were sent out too close to the election date.
Is it possible that eligible voters' votes may not count in Georgia?
Well, if people who are properly eligible get improperly challenged and purged, the answer would be yes.
But Georgia Secretary of State Karen Handel says she's not worried.
This is about ensuring the integrity of our elections. It is imperative to have checks and balances on the front end, during the processes, and on the back end. And that's what the verification process is about.
Now, someone like Kyla would still be allowed to cast a provisional ballot when she votes, but it's then up to those county officials whether those ballots would actually count. And there are a lot of people who fear that this process will not work and eligible voters will be left out.
We asked Ion Sancho why the Republicans might put together such a list. Sancho is a Democrat, but he's also one of the most respected and experienced of Florida's county elections supervisors.
The only thing that I can think of African-American voters listed like this, these might be potential individuals that will be challenged if they attempt to vote on Election Day.
American states allow political parties to place their people right inside the polling station, like this one in Jacksonville. They can point to a voter and challenge their right to vote. Voters will be turned away with provisional ballots, which are usually just thrown out. Political parties rarely use challenges because they can bring voting to a halt.
In Leon County, for example, we have not had one challenged voter in the 16 years that I've been the supervisor of elections. Because again, if you challenge voters, you really must do so with concrete, hard evidence, not your opinion. And this process can be used to slow down the voting process, to cause chaos on Election Day, and quite frankly, to discourage voters from voting.
Back in Tallahassee, another election scam surfaced which could sabotage thousands of voter registrations. It targeted students with liberal views. Elections supervisor Ion Sancho discovered the scam struck close to home.
This, for example, is a copy of my stepdaughter's voter registration from Orlando, and it is clear that her own handwriting filled in blocks 2 through 15. Apparently, a petition form was placed over the top of a voter registration form. It purported to tell the citizen they were signing a petition to legalize medical marijuana. The citizen filled it in thinking that's what they were doing, and then after the voter had left, the individual fraudulently filled out lines 1, the party change, making them a Republican now, and then fraudulently signed it and then turned the application over to the election administrator. This form changed the voter's registration from Tallahassee to Orlando. And if this voter had not known me and turned this information over to me, she may have been disenfranchised when she attempted to vote.
Is it a crime to misregister someone in that way?
It is a third-degree felony to do this. It is an illegal act.
And the Republicans now admit it was their operatives who collected these thousands of suspect registrations, though the party denies it committed fraud. Civil rights experts in Washington fear the threat to a free and fair election is severe and unprecedented.